Three entrepreneurs, one podcast, zero chance we agree on everything. This is the Ron Table. When business gets real, life gets messy, guests drop in, opinions fly, and yes, movie quotes are basically a second language. Business, life, occasional dumpster fire. So pull up your seat and let's get into it. All right, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of The Ron Table, your favorite place for real, ridiculous, and somewhat refreshing takes on what business really looks like in 2025. I am Ron Miller, and I'm here with my powerhouse co-host, Lady Belcastro, and the one and only Nicole Gray, which that is always going to be your moniker because there is only one Nicole Gray ever. I want to make that point. And today, we are going to get into the rise of what we like to call our pint-sized startup, right? It's not the quart size you get at Ben & Jerry's. It's the pint-sized. Lean, intentional. I'm here. Hold on. I'm going to try and do this like I'm in Pitch Perfect. Lean, intentional, punchy. I would have never have guessed. That's your misogyny showing it. Right, so.
I love that.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, you hate to admit you love it, but anytime any one of those 3 episodes are on, you're not changing the channel.
Yep. No,
It's
I
like,
always watch it.
Hey, one of the best lines is, they call you Fat Amy? Yeah, because I'm trying to beat you bitches to it.
It's so good. Every
Oh my God.
man.
That's so funny. It's like that Adam Sandler movie, Just Go With It.
I forgot all about that one. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like one of the funniest movies ever.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so let's bring this shit back around. Okay, so we've shifted away off topic as usual. Now let's shift it back because the world is shifting away from bloated teams and towards a very strategic, impactful form of business. And that's kind of what we're here for, right? So, we're going to borrow a little wisdom from Ferris Bueller here. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it, right? But the same goes for your business. If you keep chasing to scale blindly and non-intentionally, you're going to miss what's really working. And I think we all see that as entrepreneurs and what we do and what we're trying to build with people that we work with, right? Where, I talk about this all the time, with potential prospects of you're scaling rapidly and things get lost because you're so focused on the end goal of being big. What do you lose as you scale? You start to lose your identity. You start moving away from your real true core values of why you started. You start moving away and get disconnected with your people. And then you don't have any damn processes or anything set up for anyone coming in afterwards, right? So Is bigger better?
Okay, so myth number 818, success isn't about how many employees you have. Entrepreneurs, they start out solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and immediately I have to hire some folks. No, you do not.
Right.
I don't, that's what I understand. To me, it's about aligning, it's about your values, aligning the life that you want. Like there's that first year, like I'm a Ron, you're 18 months in. Lainey, how many years are you in? Because you got us beat.
I'm 10 years in.
You're 10 years in. I've just hit like my year mark.
Mm-hmm.
But who are you hiring? It's one thing to have help and get help for like, your books and things like that. Or maybe you need some help with your website or social media, but you don't have to hire employees.
Yep.
I stick with the pint-sized Ben & Jerry's.
Yep.
You just have to figure out how to make it work for you. But you don't need to hire employees, especially if there's no work. So you're just giving money away.
Well, and plus, I fully agree with everything you said. I mean, I'm 10 years in and I do not have employees and I don't want employees. That was never in the cards for me because when you do hire employees, they take some work off your hands. But having employees, legitimate employees, brings on a whole new bucket of headaches.
Yeah.
Bucket of headaches?
It's me.
I don't think that's a thing, but like you get it.
Pint of pain.
Yes, an ice cream headache. Yes. But it's so true because everyone asks me all the time, like, I can't believe you don't have any employees. And I'm like, I don't want all of that. Yeah. Like, that's a lot to manage. It's hard enough to manage a business, and I don't want to lose sight of what I want my business to be. So I will hire subcontractors when I want them.
Yes.
That's been the way to go for me. And I think it's great.
Yes.
Subcontractors who are okay with, the certain rate or a certain amount of work that they give. When you find them, you can work with them when you need them and not work with them if you don't need them, if it's a slow time. So for me, I will never understand hiring a bunch of employees just because it just seems like a lot more work that I don't want to.
I'm so glad you brought up subcontractors. When people think about bigger, Ron, ooh, I need more stuff. There's so many great tools out there that entrepreneurs don't want to embrace, but it's your job to learn the business and to figure out those different tools, whether it's a virtual assistant, subcontractor, tools to help you with how to pay, how to do invoices or whatever. But you have to embrace those, and they can actually help you, and so you don't have to worry about another employee. You know, AI could be your virtual assistant.
Right.
You don't have to pay AI. I mean, you just have to tell it thank you and please and that she's pretty. But outside of that, I mean, AI is great.
Yeah. I mean, we all saw Weird Science. Look how far we've come.
I'm sorry.
What do you little maniacs want to get up to next?
All I can hear now is the song Weird Science.
Oh, listen, all I think about is this one line from that movie. Chat.
Lainey's like, and my work is done.
Yeah.
This is my for the win. Weird Science back.
Pint-sized and punchy. That's us, folks. That's why you listen to the show.
But I think if people stop measuring their measuring success as part of their as far as like having a head count, they do a lot better. It kind of reminds me of an episode we just talked about, as far as you're so busy looking at other people, then you got to know what works for you. Just because, let's say, Ron, you have the ability to hire 2 people, kudos to you. The business is coming in, you needed it. But if I'm not ready, why would I hire 2 people? Now, if anything, now I'm more stressed because I got to figure out how to pay these folks.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the kind of thing people look at other people going, ooh, I need to do that. No, you don't need to do that.
Right. And I was just going to use an example, because there is an agency that probably got started around the same time that I did. And I knew the owner of the agency, and they were great. And they scaled really, really fast, and they hired a bunch of employees, and they just kept scaling and scaling and scaling. To their defense, they are very successful today, but there is a lot of talk around working for this agency, because now the employees are worked to death, and it's like upper level management has no idea how hard the employees are working, no idea how hard it is to get projects done, because they're so removed from it at this point. And so things like that happen all the time. And it happens in corporate too. I mean, how many times do we all work for someone and they have no idea how much work actually goes into the project?
And you can be hands-on. So that's another benefit.
Yeah. Like, I would rather know exactly how things are done in my business. I have no idea what's going on. That doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah.
When I go back to our last episode on burnout, right? So we talked about burnout and that corporate mindset. And when I think about this, like, so many people too, that burnout that we had spoken about in that badge of honor, growth is also that badge of honor, right? And how many times have we all worked in any organization where you had such bloated organizational charts? George Costanza as a reference here, because like, he was the assistant vice president to the traveling secretary. Like, that wasn't a real job. You might as well just been from Vandalay Industries the whole time, right? Because it wasn't. It was a bloated, unneeded. But even more importantly, you get so focused on success translating into dollars and cents and people that work under you, that you never take the time. You chase scale and you haven't even documented. Size really doesn't matter. It's what you do with what you have, right? And if you scale right, you know who you are, what you are about, and you build around core principles. If you're going to scale, you document it. So if you do need to bring somebody on, even a contractor on a long-term basis, you have the tools to give them, because we all came from environments where I would guarantee all 3 of us will agree on this, because I know
Yeah. Yeah.
There.
First of all, to quote The Office, that's what she said.
Very true.
Damn it, I wish I had my mug. I would have held it up and said I bought myself this mug.
And this is why people love us, because we can have a serious conversation and quote a movie like it's nobody's business.
My people.
But yeah, it's amazing how we were fed that in corporate America, growth and speed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. My last CEO, it was like he was addicted to growth and speed,
Yep.
which was a detriment to the company anyway.
Yeah.
And it will be a detriment to you as an entrepreneur.
Right.
Okay. And then you don't, well, we all love to grow and have a lot of clients, of course. And we're in the business of making money. We're not just doing this for shits and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as our business,
yeah.
But I also don't want to grow so fast to where I can't keep up.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And to your point, Ron, documenting the processes, I guarantee you, the bigger they get, those processes change.
Yes.
And then nobody has, and that's when people like me come in and clean up all the marketing automation because your database is a mess because you don't have a process about that.
But that's when management puts their head in the sand, right? Because they can't keep up
Mm-hmm.
and they're freaking out. So then they just play the game of, ooh, I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean the culture's gone? What do you mean you're not happy? Everything's great. Nothing to see here, folks.
And then they get rid of people and it's like, oh, well, they just weren't the right fit. But like maybe they would have been.
Or they have a reduction in force.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
The company I worked for at the time went from like, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 people to all of a sudden like 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Right. And then what do you do with them?
Yep.
And that's why you have to be careful as an entrepreneur. The last thing you want to do is hire someone and then 6 months later you have to tell them, I got to let you go.
Yep.
Well, I think it goes with anything. Like corporate America, a lot of times they throw bodies at the symptom, right? Mm-hmm. Because they don't know how to get to the root of the problem. Mm-hmm. You know, because you're scaling, so you're increasing in size. We need more people. And more people means that we get to sit on a lot more conference calls on planning for a conference call. And you all talk in circles and never get anything done.
Yep.
You know what, Ron? I'm going to circle.
Well, I was trying to be a little outside of the box on that, Nicole. Not so much inside.
Guys, I hear a holistic approach.
I hear what you're saying, and I'd like to reiterate again, but just in a different tone.
Per your email.
But again, I like what you're saying about the box.
Yeah. Try it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we could do a whole episode on that.
Oh yeah.
And scene.
Yeah.
That was a real meeting, folks.
That was a real meeting.
You know what?
Let's have a meeting about that meeting.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
and who would like to kick off this meeting? Bueller.
Is there an
Bueller?
agenda?
Yeah.
And in fact, who's going to be taking notes? It's like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised more and more people didn't commit. Is that a thing where you kill somebody in a meeting? Because it needed to be a thing.
I think so.
Yeah.
I would have done that a million times.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll see an episode of that on ID pretty soon because, you know, with the return to office mandate out there, and they're going to put these people back in an office. They're still going to be bloated. And then they're going to be sitting on virtual meetings when they're in the same space.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But, you know, whatever scales the company works. And it
just remember to move faster. It's all about speed.
Yes.
Listen, there's a reason that Tonight Dough comes in a pint-sized container. Do you really? Thank God it's like $7 for a pint, so I eat it like once a year because I will lick that shit up like it's, you know, it's Tonight Dough. Like, but there's so much impactful power and flavor in that little pint that you can charge $7 for it because it is a difference maker for whatever you need. And I think that in business size, it's the same concept, right?
I did.
How the box was that?
First of all, the fact that you could tie in anything with 600-Pound Life, which is one of my favorite shows, brilliant. Because Dr. Now, if more people had Dr. Now in their life, well, maybe not a good thing, but I'm just saying Dr. Now tells it like it is.
And that into a LinkedIn post. Yeah.
Dr. Now does tell it like it is. They like walk in his office like, oh, so I see you're here and you're just there shoving more food in your face.
Yeah.
So are you going to do something
700 pounds and you think you're malnourished.
Yep.
Okay. Dr. Now does not play with you.
I love for them to air the episode where like he walks in here and like throws his chart. He's like, what the fuck?
His
memorable.
nose. Interesting. Oh.
I bet he
All right,
has,
so I
yeah,
think we can all agree that size does matter.
it does matter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the right size, right
Yes.
way with the right vision. And staying true to that, right? Like, hey, one of my goals, I'd love to have 2 or 3 internal employees at some point, right?
Mhm.
And I use contractors. I mean, shoot, I had 2 good friends that they were out of work the same time as me when I launched this. And they each brought something different to the table. And I was able to have enough business early on to help them out. Not full time, but as contractors.
Yep.
And got them through, and they decided to go back to work. But I love to be able to get to a size where I have 2 or 3 people that have different avenues that they're great at, that I can pair up with and have some different arms to diversify. But I don't want to create just one thing. So if that doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world for me, because I know where I want to drive and the kind of life that I want to live to get there. And just like in corporate America, you got an expiration date. As an entrepreneur, I think we all do it too, because we want an expiration date where we can actually go enjoy life the way it was intended older, and not be like Warren Buffett retiring at 94, not because he needed to work, how he's built.
I mean, look, in my personal life, would I love sister wives to help with the house? Of course.
And that's not to say there's anything wrong with having sisters, but yeah. There's nothing wrong with having employees, but if you have to have intentional employees, not just having a bunch of people in your company just to say, oh, well, I have 400 employees, successful we are. So you can have otherwise a contractor.
Yeah. And you want employees to like you or hate you, because a lot of these companies end up having employees who hate your guts.
Exactly.
Because you just wanted to grow, grow, grow. I love what you said, have intentional employees.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yep.
So,
well, we're having a serious sister wife conversation. I would love to be able to round back on that joke, but if you're being serious, I cannot wait to unpack that with you. Listen, Sister Wives did not work out for that dude, okay? Like, I didn't really watch that show, but all I know is there's been more seasons of it. Why it did, okay?
Yeah.
And that did not end well for any one of those wives or the 96 kids. Anyways.
Exactly.
But for me as a pint-sized business, I always felt I never got to see the true end results of things. For me, I want to be able to see the impact on the other side.
No, that's a great point. I love that you said not being able to see the other side. That speaks volumes.
You can never see it. And I just finished putting together the first big leg of a training program that's very unique for a company in a very physical industry. And it's a one-of-a-kind thing. And I cannot wait to see these pieces implemented, because I'm still going to be putting the rest of it together because they're scaling so fast. They have an owner that knows that they're scaling fast, and that's why we're working together. I need these processes documented. I need updated job descriptions. I need to be able to have something where people want to stay and build a future, and I want to give them something they don't get anywhere else.
Yeah. Ron, you just saying that was a gut punch for me, because I'll be honest with you, I'm in the same boat too, as far as the reason I love what I'm doing now, because I've sat in too many rooms where I had great ideas where other people took credit, or never get to see them going to fruition, or I could see the red tape and leadership doing their own thing. And it's like, you guys are complicating this, and it's not that hard. So now I have the ability and the control to do that and to implement those things and to say, I did this.
Yep.
Instead of, Joe down the hall who overheard my idea and he's claiming it. And next thing you know, I see it on all hands and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That was me. So I want to make this happen, and I want to see it from A to Z.
And especially if it's something, if it's almost like a loophole that these bigger companies can't see, that's so valuable. Because I can't tell you how many times people are like, oh, you kind of do email marketing, but you go into the systems and you do all the back end stuff too. Like, you don't find that. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's why I created it, because you have all these bigger agencies doing bucket with their solutions, and that's just not how it works. So I like to have my hands in a lot of different tools and just figure things out that works for that customer, not what works best for me. I want my customers to be happy. And if you're doing it differently, like you just said, then it's even more valuable.
Look at us being good people.
See, there are good entrepreneurs out there.
Look at us go.
But Nicole, like, just something you said there too, like, man, listen, like I've worked in corporate environments that there was a couple that were really good. And there was one or two where it was like, I might as well have been like in the movie Heathers, because like some shit was getting poisoned and your idea was getting taken, and like somebody was eating their young in order to like downsize two people so they could get ahead, you know, and later adopted company wide, you know, and for me, you didn't need to ever give me credit, but I just want to be able to impact an org like that somewhere that is going to help them grow. And honestly, for me, learn not make those same mistakes with their organization.
I'm tired. I was tired of sitting in meetings going, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
I just want to say that I'm really proud of all of our movie coding in this episode. We've been taking it all over the place.
We have upped the game, folks. If you're going to be part of this posse, you got to quote at least one or two movies.
The way to go.
All right. So with that, Ron, give us your for the win in your
all right. So I'm going to say for the win has been the television show Your Friend and Neighbors with John Hamm.
I haven't seen it.
Fantastic. Yes.
Okay.
I did the remake of Four Seasons, which was phenomenal. Okay. This is brilliant. This is like absolutely brilliant. It ranks up right there with Shrinking.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
That's a big statement.
I am not a big John Hamm fan.
Yeah. I just never been about the ham.
No.
We're about Bateman here. Jason Bateman. That's
Jason Bateman. Jason Bateman is it.
We all know how we feel about Jason Bateman. So.
No. Very nice fellow. Fantastic like Mad Men. So I didn't watch it. But this show, this is a whole fantastic. All right. So I'm going to be incorrect with a point. And for anyone in business that, especially in staffing, if you have one more person that posts out on LinkedIn that says, is anybody getting ready for Q4 yet and planning? Hey, dummy, take a look at the goddamn port report and understand that Q4 ain't going to happen. Okay. So before you get out there spouting out about Q4, maybe you need to take a break and think about your customers that you should be protecting and understand what the downturn in product coming in distribution and logistics might look like, and see if you can start helping them offload some of their people and what their plans are to do less with less.
Ooh,
I'm going to get off my...
That was a good one. For the win, mine is also TV show related. I just completed watching Seinfeld from start to finish.
Wow.
I don't think I watched it when it was on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've watched it I just finished it last night, and I feel like back then seasons were like 24 episodes long.
Oh yeah.
It took forever. I say the last season is the best.
Can I just say one of my favorite Seinfeld episodes is The Contest?
Yes.
And how it kicked off.
Like one of
the best seasons ever, and then or shows ever, and then also when Costanza ran over the clown and the old lady to get out of the apartment because somebody killed fire.
Yes.
What's your WTF?
Guys, my WTF is that Italy, I'm trying to get citizenship in Italy to get the hell out. And just saying. But I've been trying this for like a year, and it's a process. And I was just about to get into the running, and they changed their damn laws. So now I can't get citizenship because they changed it from like you can go through like your great grandparents to only your grandparents. So you can't. I need to have a conversation with whoever is making these laws because they just crushed my dreams for now.
No.
I'm sure it'll change in like 6 months, but for now, I'm pissed.
Can you get an EU work visa?
I totally have other ways, but still, I want to be a citizen, damn it.
Yeah. So they just gave you we'll circle back to that.
We're going to put
folks,
a pin on that, lady.
I'm going to stick with the Hollywood theme. My for the win. If you don't know her, actress Lisa Liu becomes the oldest Hollywood Walk of Fame honoree. She's 98 years old. She's been in Hollywood 65 years. You'll know her from the Joy Luck Club and also Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh my God.
Long overdue. If you pull her up, Lisa Liu, L-U, and you see her face, you'll be like, oh my God, I know her. And you've seen her in so many things. So I just thought that was awesome.
Definitely. That's
my WTF is about kids. So Beyonce is on tour right now with Cowboy Carter. And her oldest daughter, Blue Ivy, has been in her shows, but her youngest daughter, she's 7. She's bubbly. She's 7. And people are online going, what's wrong with her? Is she autistic? Does she have any issues? She's effing 7. 7-year-olds jump up. 7-year-olds are laugh. 7-year-olds are goofy. And guess what? Even if she was, she's somebody's child. So shut the F up, enjoy the concert, or just leave it alone. I mean, honestly, I don't care who you are. What you won't do is talk about their kids.
Yeah.
Kids have to be off limits. It's just ridiculous. I think sometimes these trolls, they get a little too familiar and they think they can say anything, and you sound stupid.
Yep.
Okay? She's a 7-year-old child. Let's just leave it at that and keep it moving. So that's my WTF.
Doesn't matter who they are. Like, especially a 7-year-old.
I mean, come on.
Your life.
I have a 9-year-old. He does goofy shit because guess what? He's 9.
Right.
Okay? But what concerns me is the 40-year-old man doing goofy shit.
Yeah. Super concerned. Stay away from the kids, man.
Yes.
Stay from the kids.
Damn. All right, Ron.
We are officially done.
And just another shout out to Lainey for finishing Seinfeld. I'm just saying. You finished a show about nothing.
Yeah.
Right on time.
It was great.
Huge accomplishment.
Forever these seasons.
No employees for you.
Yes.
To wrap it up, listen, you can scale and get big. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next time with more truth, more tactics, more inappropriate movie references and show references, and probably another Ferris Bueller quote as we tackle our next subjects. But thanks for joining us here on the Round Table and joining in our small business journey. We hope that this is of value, and we'll see you next time. Keep your seat warm.
Bye.
Well, that's a wrap on this episode of The Ron Table. Thanks for pulling up your chair, lending us your ear, and not touching our drums. Interested in more chaos, common sense, and conversations? Well, make sure that you hit that like button or the follow button, or drop us a question or a comment in the comment section below. If you want to follow us on social media, you can check out more under the resources tab at www.elevate-talent-solutions.com, or you can visit Nicole Gray at renewedimpact.com. Hit up Lainey Belcastro at lmbdigimarketing.com. And a big shout out to our producer and co-host Adrian Ruthart at acrventures.com. Until next time, keep that chair warm, because